Welcome to your weekend political tonic. Politics today on independent television and radio. And that's because it's a simulcast. On this platform, we help you make sense of all the major issues that dominated politics within the week. And of course, give you some insights and projections into the brand new week that is forthcoming. And perhaps projections for the rest of the year, against the background that 2027 election is taking the front burner. For some, it's a major distraction for those in leadership position, political leadership position, especially at the executive level. Of course, all the progressive governors are already in Edo State, being hosted by our very own distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, Executive Governor of Edo State. So we're waiting to see what the communique will be as the outcome of that meeting. But I'm sure the major issue that took center stage in the closing part of the week was the resolution of the rift between Governor Wike And Fubara and, of course, his political godfather, if you like it that way, Wike, who is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. That issue has been brought to conclusion, but there are some undercurrents that is coming in, and that explains why it's a major talking point today on the show. We hope you stay with us and be part of the conversation, and you can also contribute through our phone lines. Be brief. As usual, you have a long list of people on the queue to also make their contributions. Let's meet our guest here in the studio. I'd like to thank Dr. Patrick Awo-Osage. He's a constitutional and human rights lawyer, political analyst. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure for having me. Good morning, folks.
Good morning. We also have here Comrade Roy Oribabo, public affairs analyst, grassroots politician. Comrade, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'm sure you saw that picture we showed you a while ago. I'm sure you like to take a look at that picture again. And some said for the first time they actually saw Wike and, of course, Wike And Fubara coming out together after the meeting with Mr. President and smiling, which means all is well, which means all has been settled. What were the content of the settlement is a major talking point. We're looking forward to the next stage, which is the reinstatement of Governor Wike And Fubara back to his office. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining this conversation. Let me begin with Roy. This is a major talking point, and with the involvement of Mr. President at this time, it looks like the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted. They were not done the last time, and that's why the crisis festered. So what's different about this resolution?
I think to me, my position is, I've not changed my position. Fubara registered a fundamental error in ab initio. He initiated a process, a fighting process. He initiated it, but he was not ready for war. You know, to some of us who look at him, I pity him from a distance. I pity him from a distance because he actually negotiated all this for himself. All what befell him is as a result of his own personal decision. You know, as the Benin would say, Amawiye, we are so boyashi. He was the one who negotiated all these things he's passing through. And look at where are those who have been with him in the whole process. You know, it's a reminiscence of when you send somebody an errand and the errand is not profitable, they will deny you. And they have denied this young man. Have no bearing. How could you have even wake up at the middle of the night to have a feeling and thought to want to wrestle with a man called Wike? As of today, Wike is not different from Dangote trailer loaded with 500 bags of cement with a fed brake. He can overrun anybody. Therefore, Wike is too sophisticated, is too connected, is too dear to the president for him to mortgage. That's the reason why when I saw the fight coming, one of my questions are, Fubara, can you as an executive governor, can you sustain this battle? Fubara was not able to sustain it. You recall, you also agree with me that this battle are beyond. Have you seen Wike interested moving from one place to another looking for settlement? We were seeing Fubara moving from Ohuadua to Ebohimi to Agbo, looking for solution. And those who mastermind it to say, go to this world with a wicked, they were nowhere to be found. Anytime I look at the man, I'm always very bothered because the kind of settlement they have, there's a settlement that will not be favorable to him, and it can never be favorable to him. I expect him to be very humble in that issue. This was a man that was least qualified to be the governor of Rivers State. But because we can just look at him and say, well, let me elevate your status, I will make you a governor. As at then he was carried away. I don't know what came over him. I don't know. I'm still wondering. Because as at today, they are coming back again. The coming back of Fubara is another episode entirely. You know, I am not a prophet of doom, because I can see now that Fubara will be highly teleguided. Because opportunity was given to him. He misplaced and misused it. And I'm even very shocked that one of the devil's uncle in this whole thing have able to show that leniency, have showed that political understanding. If it was Fubara that was on top, he will not show this kind of leniency to Wike. You agree with me? He will not show it. But Wike have able to demonstrate, despite what he possessed at this material time. It's the only man in the history of the world now. Wike have able to eat his cake and his season in his hand. It have never happened in the history of the world. How do you want to wrestle with that kind of person? It was a fundamental error on the part of Fubara to have a back on this kind of a struggle he believed that he was not able to make anything out of. I pity the young man because the second coming of him is going to be is going to be an episode that we cannot explain, because now the boys, they have stretched into his limit. They know his capacity. They know what he can do. Now he's going there for the second time. I wish he were. I wish he were. I pray. I'm just talking as a Nigerian. I'm wishing he were, and I pray that he will be able to withstand the second time. Okay. We have been told that he don't need to talk about it. He want to go for second time.
No, we'll get to that point. Okay. We'll get to that point. Let me get Dr. Awosage. I mean, what's new about this settlement? Because I know that at the onset of this crisis, most political analysts posited that Mr. President had the ace to resolve this issue amicably. And we saw him make an attempt to resolve that issue, or resolve this issue, but it didn't work. So what has changed? What has facilitated this? Is it that Governor Sim, is a bit concerned that he's been out of seat for too long, and this may become permanent? Or a state of emergency that has been declared can become permanent, and maybe because anything can happen in Nigeria, that's what they say.
It's rather ridiculous to have a show of shame in manners like this. You see, when I look at politicians and political actors, the way they carry themselves and perpetrate acts and abuse offices, it's rather a disgraceful thing around the world, and it's a shameful thing. It was Chief Tony Anene, I'm not very sure, that said no man is God. I'm not sure, but I know I heard that from him some couple of times. You see, the Wike we talk about, who is Wike? That's what you should ask. He's just a Nigerian. He's just a person like any other person. I don't see anything spectacular about the Yoson Wike they talk about.
But he's calling his shot in Rivers State.
Excuse me. We agree that he has elevated himself in some ways, insult those he could insult, and believe that's all. All this is just for after 2027. 2027, the re-election, we'll know where he is. So they'll talk about Wike. I don't see it that way. I like his person. He's a lawyer, he's a colleague, and we celebrate him. But the aspects we will talk about now, I'm not interested in his, the issue between him and the Fubara. We're concerned, what are you there for? Words like, oh, he made you. Who made Wike? The man is not qualified. Who qualified Wike? What makes you qualify? If you have dared to write WAEC, attempts it, you qualify to be anything, to any president of the country. So if Fubara is governor today, and they are having their back and forth, and again we must understand, how did Fubara become governor? Was it that he was the only one? If you understand the local politics and things that went down, you remember EFCC was declared him wanted, and he was in the creek, was hiding back and forth. So him becoming governor was a tide of necessity to give him immunity so that the big masquerade will not be unmasked. So these are some of the realities on ground. So if Fubara trying to fight, wrestle, he wasn't doing that because he can't fight actually. He's not a trained fighter like every other politician. He is not. He was just an accountant keeping money for the lords. and now something is going on. He felt because of the information I have, I could also play around. And that's basically what we saw play out. And he said, well, if like you know me, I know you, okay, there's something I'm keeping for you. You can't just direct me back and forth. So he wanted to say, I'm a man of myself. And he said, no, you're still a boy. You're still under me. I need to tutor you. I need to mentor you. Because they always bring people they can control. We had a similar episode in Edo State when a man called Godwin Obaseki was governor. He emerged and he was like one person that could be tossed around. But he proved his honors and he proved himself to the then governor, Adam Soshomole. And at the end of the day, all the court processes, we saw he succeeded in all. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not interested in that. That's not my concern. It's a show of shame in the sense that because the original reason for you engaging, coming out to be a governor or whoever, is to better the lots of the people. Why are you there? Is it to show Moses and fight where the soul state is suffering? Is that when you are in Benin today, for instance, you're driving in the rain, you are running home because you don't know what's going to happen? This is not what governors should be. The preponderance of the theory we are perpetrating here and there that, what's his name, Lincoln said, government of the people. Is it really for the people, by the people, and for the people? There are some few persons that have captured the system. They manipulate it. They use legal structures. They use all manner to suffocate those that could come up. And that's what we are seeing. Fubara is a decent man, if I would say, to an extent. Now, he had done his job. He's governor. What is he fighting for? Wike, on the other hand, did very well when he was governor. But why not leave governance? Why not let the man do his thing? So this idea of teleguiding and coming around as godfather, wanting to mentor you when you are at your age, how can your father call you to be telling you some things? And to be telling you how to eat, there are things he shouldn't tell you now. You are a man of yourself. You should be able to take the lead. And I think that is the problem. When we begin to celebrate things like this, for me, I say, no, I don't celebrate it. I detest it with all despicable acts. I don't like it. You want to do, you contested the election. People voted for him. Whether you consider him was mentored or whoever, they say, the man was not a known person. Who was Goodluck Jonathan before he became president. But he was president for some years. And he ruled this country. So that mentality of one strong man, let's not forget, there was a David and there was also a Goliath. As champion of many years, David brought him down. And I believe anything can happen.
Okay.
That's just the truth.
Okay, Roy, let me come back to you. Let's talk a bit more about the content of the settlement, the agreements and areas of concession, that's the word, in this resolution, because a lot is there in the public space, how both of the gladiators, the political gladiators, are supposed to conduct themselves. On the part of the governor, same Fubara, is expected, we are told, to pay all the statutory emoluments to the members of the State House of Assembly, who are also in turn expected not to go on any impeachment voyage against him. And then the local government structure is there. So I'd like to get your perspectives on this. How fair is this settlement to the parties involved?
The issue of fairness can no longer arise unless you are deceiving yourself.
That's correct.
The issue of fairness can no longer arise.
Captured.
It is the way, Fubara, as far as I'm concerned, he was pushed into submission. He have no any alternative than to submit himself. He get to this level where Fubara have no any alternative. The only thing is just for him to be there. Fubara will be shattered. He will be battered. The only thing for him is to recognize that there is a being somewhere who brought you from nowhere as far as he's concerned. Nigeria politics and Nigeria state is an unusual environment. People, I'm a realist. Nigeria society is an unusual environment that what seems to be fair in other countries, it's not fair here. We must get it right. It is not about, we are not grandstanding about what is good or is not good. In the game of politics in Nigeria, take a dozen of the percent who have said, these are persons who are more shameless. The more you are more shameless, the more you are saying Nigerian politics. Now today you are looking for fairness, you can't get it. You can't get it.
Yes,
of course, you are saying. You can't get it. Now take your mind back. Fubara was discovered by a man called Wike. against, or do you know how many persons that were interested in that race?
So many.
Wike was able to say, don't spend your 1 naira. He used the word that we have a political family in Rivers State. It's called a structure. The structure is going to bring out the money to campaign, even buying form. Anything you need, the structure will be. They sat down on the round table and they said, let's discuss. They were discussing and said, Fubara, you go for the governor. You go for here. You will be the speaker. And all of them, they all consented to it. It is not because it is good. It is not because it within the spirit of democracy. Those who formulated the theory never even in a developed democracy like America, where very just now we saw Trump with Elon Musk over sharing formula. We saw them fighting a battle. Go for that reason. You know, these are things that happens every day. And that's the reason why we must be very careful. The reason why personally I am against Fubara. Fubara was not strategic. Fubara was a lazy thinker. Fubara refused to know, read the line between the word. It was very obvious there. You know, it was a reminiscence of the Bible disposition. On the wall, mene. You're supposed to see it and know that you want to embark on a mission with this man. What do I do? You just mentioned of Obaseki. It took Obaseki almost 4 years to look at the face of the Godfather and say, I can't do this. This man was just less 4 months in office. He had not been able to go and negotiate with the man, even from the same country who is representing him at the state assembly. He had not been able to reach out to him. I said, how do we do this? It's about give and take. And I will continue to be against Fubara because, take your mind back, sir. Those who have been governor in Rivers State, I'll continue to say it. From no delay, once they finish, they want to be president. Do you know why? Because of the volume of money in Rivers State. I met him very just now. He finished, he sponsored a political party who defeated an incumbent state because of the volume. And we saw Wike, who just finished as the governor. He said, I want to be president. Why? Is it not because of the money? What now happened to Fubara? The money is there, the resources is there. You were not strategic. You did not listen to the voice of those who can reason with you. You were carried away with the monuments and the resources attached to the office without thinking ahead. And that's the reason why I continue to have regard for Wike as of today. Many persons might not be happy with my disposition because if it were the other side, this man called Fubara will not show mercy on Wike. And he have refused to calculate. And that is the reason why Obaseki, we have to comment. Obaseki was very strategic. He was doing everything and he reached out to persons and he was consulting with people. And he know what he was doing. This man called Fubara never knew what. I see him as an opportunist. And these are the kind of person who create problem for the society. Yes, Fubara is a threat. It's a threat to understanding. You know, we must begin to look at it because in that initial an understanding was reached. Now he went back to say no. Before you say I'm a governor without not being governor, you must know. You must know what you are made of. You must know the stuff you are made for. Okay. Which cases are today is too relevant to Tinubu. He will know he's not ready to mortgage it for anything. And I expect that man to also look. Wike is highly connected in INEC as today. In judiciary, is one of the most any margin. Wike is the only man as today. What Wike cannot do does not exist in Nigeria politics. We must give it to him.
Okay. All right. Let me pause you there. Dr. Awosage, what do you make of the feelings that this resolution is an apparent celebration of godfatherism, even from the president to Wike and all the other, political leaders of the country that we have?
He has said it all, that it's not how the proponents, those that put it up, is not what, even if they were to be around, they'll be wondering, is this what we said democracy is? So basically, it's just a matter of a big daddy, young man, come on, spank you. I think Wike really have so much love for Fubara, to be honest, in actuality. And I am wondering if like I mentioned, there were some issues that led to him becoming governor. So if he were not governor today, I know the EFCC would be on his neck. That's the truth. Probably that was one of the reasons. Probably. I'm not saying that's all there is. But if you look at it, the way the whole thing has turned out to be is more or less like, they are trying to not bring in your own position like you were trying to say, okay, maybe they resolved issues. No. But he's already conquered. A conquered state, you don't, when you are conquered or you are defeated, you are only dethroned or you are deported of sorts. So that dictates to you. Like I said, had it been Hitler won the war, what will America have come today? You know, they set the pace, they determine. You see America now, everything United Nations is all about the United States. There is nothing you are doing, whether you call it Security Council, they are in control. They decide, they can come anywhere. That arrogant attitude, that tendency to act above board is always there in man. That Hobbesian state of nature, that tendency to be behaving the way they so wish. And I think that's basically what has played out now. So it's like, oh, young man, that's just a little one. They're bringing him back, you know, stay there and while we watch you. And watching you does not mean a second time is guaranteed. That's the truth. That's another game altogether. If he's able to learn and align with some other people, maybe there will be another big fight. Because that would be a good time for him to also pull the shots. Because it will be an election period, you know, and everybody will be busy trying to deliver the president. And he also will be able to do something around there. You can create some crisis there because you want to seek re-election. So, and it's going to be happening almost at the same time. And it all depends on how he's able to play. If he wants to fight them. But in my advice, if I'm to advise him, I think he shouldn't. He doesn't have the balls to even do that. Because fighting structures that have been well established, you cannot be looking at an Ahmed Tinubu, like I said. I don't know who is contesting election against Tinubu. I don't know. In this country today, I don't know. Who is the president? Peter Obi? Is it Atiku? Is it anybody? I don't know. The person is not born. It's not around. You know, I'm convinced of that. I know Tinubu is definitely going to win that election. Even without rigging or whatever people are saying, Tinubu will win. His goodwill will give him that position already. So there's no Nigerian that is such an outstanding political entity like Ahmed Tinubu. I'm not praising him because I want to talk so much about him. But the issue here is that if we look at what is happening, because like he has really said so much, and that's why I was laughing. Now, he said Fubara was not strategic. Tinubu is very strategic. You know, some Wike is very strategic. They know the times. In the Bible, we talk about times and seasons. They know the time we are in. And even if Tinubu don't like Wike, I need to deal with this Wike. He won't. He dare not. Are you getting it? Because of the times we are in. If you fight Wike now, that's second term will be shaking. So we need to tidy up. We need to pamper him some more. And that's why he's seizing it as an opportunity to do what he needs to do. So after this time, okay, perhaps you may not need him again. By that time, he also have gotten what he wanted. So if you kick me out, then I'm good. So it's just a matter of understanding the times and the season and know how. But Fubara on his own was not. He was believing like I think Professor Subo when he was saying, "Picking when Mama puts her back and not the fall." You know, he was talking to market women to deliver you from the Almighty to their nanny. It was funny, you know, to have such thoughts that women that will be singing that are singing to your tutu naira, that they will not deliver you to be governor. That was a joke. So I think that's basically what we should look at this to be.
All right, thank you very much. What next in Rivers State with the resolution of the rift between the godfather and his godson, Nyesom Wike and Governor Sim Fubara? Perhaps we can say the grandfather will be President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who intervened and resolved the issue, and then respecting reinstatement of Governor Sim Fubara. But something that was on the flip side that perhaps dominated conversation on this issue is the talks that he's been allegedly barred from a second term. In other words, he will be allowed to conclude this first term, but would not be allowed to run for a second term. Does that even make sense at all? Roy, help me make sense of this.
To me, I think Fubara is one of the most lucky presidents I've seen on earth in recent time. You know, after a backing of that kind of mission, a voyage where you were after a man that is super powerful, he's giving you a second opportunity to come by. You are demanding for a third term. As far as I'm concerned, I see that second term as a third term for him. This opportunity is for him to learn his lesson. The president and the presidency have what it takes to settle the Inabin issue without even calling for a man to go and preside over there. But because they say, okay, let's just tell this boy where we are coming from. Let us teach him a lesson so that he will not forget in a hurry. That was the reason of saying, let us go for emergency room. By the time they subject him to that emergency room, Fubara was totally empty and alone. He now discovered that with the little resources he was thinking of gathered over the year, by the time he settled, he now found out that he was not even for Roy. Become a poor man. He was not moving a lule now. Nobody was going to go with him. They now recollect that there is need for him to go and beg. In all, and I will continue to say, the Wike camp will never bother. If Nigeria was a society that is working, if you take a forensic analysis to look at the sole administrator, now don't be surprised that Wike and those House of Assembly members, they are still receiving some salary as I told you. And that is the society we find ourselves, because we don't have what it takes to question them. The more you question them, the more they are coming with another tactics. And that tactics have not helped us collectively. But it's all about the persons. And that's the reason why my friend was talking about the Tinubu just now. You see how he qualified Tinubu. Nobody is talking about the people. What is the rule of the people? Nobody. Nobody. And that's the reason why you go to the National Assembly, you go to the House of Rep, you go to anywhere now. People are moving to APC, and nobody is talking about the voters. It's about what they can get and what they can get. And that take me back to one man called me off recently and said, Roy, he said, instead of me to see myself in poverty, I will go and lead down and beg my enemy for favor. Say, take it. Because he knows the dangers of poverty. And these Nigerian politicians, they are aware of the dangers of poverty. A country where there is no hope, as of today, there is no hope in Nigeria. You are the one who you have to go and seek your boiled if you need water. If you need electricity, you must go for an alternative. If you need a better school for your children, you have to take them abroad, you go to private school. There is no hope. And if you don't have that money, how do you withstand the society? And nobody cares about any other person. And that is what drives them, that they want to live quality life to the detriment of the larger people. Nobody is no longer on merit. And it will never be on merit with what is going on now. Where 2 or 3 people can sit down and say, you go, this is what we are getting. And it's working for them perfectly well. The Nigerian people are helpless. The citizens, they are helpless. They cannot do anything. Just go and cast your vote. You only go there. It's just a mere ritual. By the time you get home, they are reading another result. And this is another dimension that is in our politics. And that's the reason why these politicians who have the opportunity and privilege to be in government, they will do anything. And that's the reason why Fubara was moving from one place to another, from one market to another, looking for how to beg. He's aware. And I believe he must have known it. He's coming back now as a governor. He must know what I need from me is total loyalty. Okay. He should not go back and be demonstrating this grandstanding when he know that he's not even standing on anything. You know, he should be very loyal to Wike. And secondly, he should also tender an unreserved apology to some persons who were taking him serious. He should tell the world that he was never serious about the battle. He should be able to summon courage to do that. Because you cannot just cajole people. Some persons like me were taking him serious. When he started this fight, I was thinking that the man was strategic, you know what he was doing. I never knew that he was a stranger to strategic thinking and ability to conquer a godfather like Wike. And that's the reason why I said, demand an apology for him. And I'll continue to demand he apologize. If he don't apologize to us who were taking him serious before, my brother, the god of politics will not favor him. Okay,
let's proceed there, Roy. Dr. Awosage, I'm concerned by this talks that, part of the concession he needed to make, apart from settling the political structures or the political liabilities that he incurred all this while, is his quest for a second term. That's, I mean, constitutionally, that's his inalienable right. So,
nobody else stopped him. Nobody else said he shouldn't contest. He understands what it means that he wants a second term. Will he, if you go and obtain the form to contest election, can't you go and pick up a form? We can all pick up form, nobody will stop you. It's whether you will get up to 5 votes. That's the debate. You understand? So it's not just, nobody is saying he shouldn't go. So you can go to court and, you know, I'm a lawyer, we know nobody is, like you've just said, that's a legal position, a constitutional right. Go and, go and canvass your right or express it anyhow. But will you amount to anything? We saw this in Lagos. You know, there was a former governor who they said, don't bother, just stay off. You know, overnight, his popularity dropped. So that's how it is. So they built you, and they can also bring you down. So that's just it. I think he should not be talking of, and that's why I still agree totally. He's not strategic. He's not a deep thinking person. He should go and study more of books like Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws of Power, the Prince Niccolo Machiavellian's write-up, and so that he understands how to manage states. How can you be talking of second term when you have misbehaved? The one you are in is by whiskers, by grace that you are even coming back. You are still talking of, how you want to, who will give it to you? It won't work. We need to see you now and see how you are now humble and you have been able to, if you are able to, I think somebody like Wike could take the risk. Wike is a risk taker. And he can always get back at you if, he would. He would have said that to him in person and win him over and let him trust you again. Because I know there's a bond between Wike. You can't take that away. They know themselves deeper than what people know. So if he could get back to him, he might just give it to you, but not asking now that, you have not finished your first time, you are talking about second time. There was a man that was doing Wada, he said Wada red card, you remember? He was giving red card and he slept and didn't wake up the other day. You remember how Yaya Bello became governor? You are not God, you have not even finished, you have not recovered from what you are in, you are calling for. That's greed. Have you been able to satisfy all your people? Have you done the needful? So go back and put your house in order. You have already divided the state. Look at people like Dokubo, Aida Dokubo and all those actresses over there crying on the streets. You have broken their hearts. A lot of them are feeling out. So a leader should know what to do to bring the people together. This fighting should stop. There are times because of your honor and because of what you feel will get out. Wike is somebody that can dance dirty on the street, so you don't join him. You pamper him and just play along and let him be. If you need to even strike him, not now. I think that's basically what it is.
Is this not tantamount to one of the statements credited to an American, personality who said, in Nigeria, we build strong people instead of strong institutions, which turns out most times to hurt the people.
Don't mind the American person speaking. They are the ones. I'm telling you, I will be very fair to you. They are the ones building the strong people for us and weakening our institution. It's them. The problem we are faced here is not President Tinubu or all these guys. They are not the people. If you go behind and check through, they don't want things to work. Just go back to colonial time. How they were doing divide and rule and all those manipulation. They are the ones still manipulating. Who is drilling the crude oil? Who is in charge? Who is benefiting? Who are those? But is it you and me? No. So let's be honest with ourselves. All those English speakers in New York or somewhere in Chanting House or in England and coming TED shows and talk, but it's easy to talk. Okay. They know the reality.
Okay.
But you cannot, to me, I subscribe to that disposition that we are busy building strong men. That's the reason why one single individual can influence the judiciary because he's bigger than that institution. One single individual can tell you, I will make you a governor because he does not even want to consider people like us. He will say, I'll make you governor, he will do it. And people have been testifying over the years what these men have been able to achieve. Therefore, we cannot now say, we can't continue to be blaming the Western world of our failure. For our inability to manage ourselves, we continue to blame ourselves. You just asked you just now, as old as in whether he will be taking directive from the father again.
Not when it borders on an international level.
This level now.
When their interest is in it. What you must understand, okay, look at this. There are countries, they have specific interests like Nigeria. They know you have your oil. They need the man there. They need to control him. If you build institution, how will that man be controlled? You will have a lot of trouble, and that's why they would weaken it at all costs. And they are the one. I have very good reasons for that.
All right. Let's leave that, gentlemen. I want us to quickly talk about the latest development within the APC as a political party. Yesterday, the news broke of the resignation of Alhaji Ganduje, who is the national chairman of the APC, resigning, citing health reasons for his resignation. And for some, this is a long time coming. As for some too, this is healthy for the party. A lot has been said and seen about Mao Ganduje as governor of Kano State. Remember the lining of dollars in the pocket, which of course led to his name metamorphosing to Gandu Dollar, if you remember, back then in the days. And then he's been in the saddle for some time, but yesterday he threw in the towel. Let's talk about that for a moment before we open our studio line, Roy.
Look, it his resignation did not come to me as a surprise because it's a product of political maneuvering. You know, you understand the body language of Ganduje for some time now have not been at par with the presidency. You know, this is how Nigeria is run. Once they show you, they take you inside and tell you, this is what we have for you. What are you taking? You want to resign or we chase you away? The man just has said, let me resign. Because you recall when they went to the northeast to endorse Tinubu, you know there was a serious altercation in that meeting. And the presidency was embarrassed. You know, and the national chairman was also in that arrangement. Therefore, they believe that he was not able to manage the situation. And then the presidency was no longer on the same page with him. That was a problem for him. You know, and secondly, they also believe that at the time he was beginning to be talking too much, that we will catch up this state. After this, we are going to Osun. After Osun, we'll go here. You know, and some of those people within and I said, no, you don't use that kind of term. But we know we can get all these things. But we should not be bragging about it. We're supposed to take it very gradual. You know, those are some of the things, some of those are be alleged that are responsible for why he had just to take a bath. His taking a bath was not a natural. It's unnatural in this part of the world for a man to wake up and say, I want to resign. Where have you seen it happen? Unless we want to continue to deceive ourselves. This man did not resign based on any health issue. It's as even more like, we're looking at him yesterday.
Are you his doctor? Rory, are you his doctor?
Have you seen any man
Are you his doctor?
in Nigeria? Have you seen any man?
Even the one with drip is still.
Are you his doctor?
You see,
Did you examine him?
Yeah.
Did you carry out any
There is
diagnosis
no
on him?
issue of health matter. The man need to give way so that the Tinubu can get second tenure. Anything that can stop Tinubu now. Once he's said, you are gone.
Okay.
You are gone.
All right, Dr. Awosa, is it being sacrificed for 2027, just like he said?
When you say sacrifice, has he not eaten enough? What will you sacrifice when he's the sacrifice himself? He has been 2 times governor, he has been everywhere, so come on. It's maybe just reposition your men. I think it's a strike. You know, Ahmed Tinubu is the colossus of politics, and there's a way he positions when, just like a coach watching footballers, he say you go back and you go forward, just like that. Maybe your noise, so much talk, like he said, is coming from that angle. What do? Let's keep him a little bit behind so that, not that they are disconnecting from him. I don't know that to be in the character of Ahmed Tinubu. He doesn't use and dump people. He keep them to strengthen them and repackage them for another assignment. I think that's just what happened. So it's not much of a talk that we should look into. Obviously, you know the man Ganduje, if we're to go by it, you'd be in the prison by now. You know, if we're to go by what is available to the public space, the dollar issue alone, you know what that means? He should have been held behind bars. But because of the corridor where he finds himself, there are certain corridors you find yourself. Nobody can walk up to that corridor to pick you up. So he has been enjoying that grace. The Nigerian grace have worked for him. So for me, it's a good thing, but to a great extent, again, it will bring new ideas. You know, people will perceive the party differently now, because having such a man, you know, we keep saying that corruption is everywhere, but when you openly show it and everybody is seeing it, you know, they look at you with some scorn. And I think that's basically what it is. That I've always, they'll be looking at the APC. How we have a man like this with this kind of dollar thing, and nobody, we know the dollar. Greet him, good morning, sir. Even if you are saying your thoughts, you know, quickly, but now, if you have somebody who have no such baggage around, I think it would be more accepted by the Nigerian people, and that may even woo more people to the party.
Okay. Our studio line is open. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm not through my name. I'm calling from Benin.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to comment on the statement that one of your panelists made.
Yeah.
About, he said, nobody can challenge the Almighty Tinubu and Wike at this time.
I'm not sure you use the word almighty. I'm not sure you use the word almighty. Let's put...
They are very mighty. They are very powerful.
Okay.
Yes, he mentioned something like that. Let us say powerful, okay. But let me say this. Yes, you agree, but somebody can still challenge them. Let me tell you. Yes, God. You can watch where is Abacha to be. Abacha is very powerful when he to be democratic. That's the only way we
Poor
can
them,
succeed.
poverty.
That's number one. We are not God. No man can play God. That's number one. The second thing we talk about, and we end with this, that they were talking about the Westerners are going to be slave for our economy. That one.
Well, that didn't come from us at all. That should be a network. Okay.
Because if you watch other countries like India, other countries like Singapore, Malaysia, all of them were Korea. They were the same level with Nigeria in the 60s. Nigeria was even higher than some of them. India and Korea and others, they are so far. Okay, why did the Western not spoil their economy? So,
Nigerians are ungovernable.
This is not Africa today. The richest country in Africa now. So our leaders is the cost. So don't blame the West at all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution. 08077770300 is the studio number. Whether you're listening on radio, watching us on television, or following the program online, you can call that number now and be part of the conversation. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
Hello, good morning. I'm Patrick.
Okay, where are you calling us from?
From Benin.
Yes, go ahead, Patrick.
My brother, it's very unfortunate. Celebrate as an individual rather than institution. That is where we got it wrong. This country we are getting down politically because an individual is some other institution. And at the worst of all, the judiciary is going to be grounds because by law, they are not different. How can a judiciary can be different? When you go to one of the scholars said, what against them, it is true. One of my junior brothers, the same parents with him, he almost made sure all this was starting from the beginning. Start from the two. They cannot do anything, go to court, even we can have the ability to do it. It is not good, we should not celebrate them. And we should not celebrate them, and we should not encourage them. That is why we are getting ourselves in this problem today, because individual is suffered by institution, and the judiciary are not helping matters. Like the other one, you want to remember, no man is God. That is what made an religion. That is the great group of individuals
Thank
to
you.
bring in somebody. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Brilliantly spoken. Our studio number 08077770300. That's the studio number. Get you on the program with that number right now, right away. We can do that. And we got you on. Good morning, caller. What's your name?
Good morning, sir. Dr. Sunday.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Raphael, calling from DROE.
Raphael, please go ahead.
A leader is a man of vision, a man of accountability, integrity, compassion, and empathy. So, what you see today, you see them fighting get after the provisions of the Constitution. I want Fubara to know, after wasting River State money to hire Sam, who was helping him, that is going to win that case, how will you pass an aspiration bill into law with 4 lawmakers? One is provision of the Constitution, that is from 96. Saying for a right opportunity to sit, it must be 1/3 to form the quorum. He went away and destroyed their house. Governor Wike is not a lawmaker. He is not the chief judge. Never local government chairman. Start calling him. You tell me what Governor Wike did in this matter. Governor Wike do in this matter now. Former governor of River State. He never did anything other than Fubara read the provision of the Constitution that will amount to the impeachment. If no Papa President, in both section 305, emergency rule, could have resorted to another thing in River. So that is lesson. Any action you take, there must be consequence. Hello, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. 08077770300. That's the studio number. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. What's your name and where you're calling from?
This is Ultimate Great for Wolimoto State Pass Market.
Ultimate is great. Please go ahead.
Yes, I want to first of all disagree with my boy and student that said that Tinubu must win 2027.
I know that one.
If the electoral empire, the INEC decided to do do what they did in 2023 by obtaining the majority Nigerian decision. That's the reason Tinubu will win on 2022. If not, I don't see any majority, any meaningful Nigeria that cast the vote for him in 2027. Apart
Well,
from that,
ultimately great. I think you should speak for yourself.
only have
Don't
one
say you
vote.
can't see any Nigerians.
It's only your vote,
I mean,
sir.
speak for
Speak
yourself.
for your
Speak for
vote.
yourself.
Not even
And
your wife.
let's wait till 2027. Anyways, go ahead.
apart from that, the
Yes.
matter between Wike and Fubara, yes, that, but according to say, if there is terms and condition that is settlement, all these are no way with the Fubara. He just there as a governor because already the issue is decided by Wike and the president. He just is there as a rubber stamp. So that's the condition they gave to him. Cannot work. The more you cannot do anything in that river state without the Wike or president telling you what to do. So this is not democracy at all. How can Wike use the federal power to subdue the governor? Why? Is this democracy? Wike is just a wicked man. He wants to leave the fuel alone and leave a state alone. So that the governors in that state, that's my own this morning.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Ultimately, great. Thank you for your perspectives. It's still politics today, and it's reaching you live on independent television and radio. Just more calls before we call it a wrap on the program. Good morning, caller. You are live on the program. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Advocate. I'm calling from Igwebe.
Okay, Advocate, could you turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo? Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have listened to the submission of your guest there, and we have tried to just do justice to the Nigeria situation.
Okay.
But what is baffling me now, that the situation is a helpless situation. Because it's like the presidency is in charge of everything. Now that even the EFCC, the National Assembly, the judiciary have no independence. It means there is no democracy. There is no need for people to be interested any longer. Let them continue. It's a helpless situation. That is all I can say for now. Thank you.
All right, Advocate, thank you for your time. Let's summarize all that we've talked about today so far on the program, particularly on the Wike Fubara issue. Resolution has been made. We're looking forward to when and how Fubara will be reinstated to power as the governor of that state. And some say he has learned his lesson. But we know Nigerians don't learn from history. Dr. Awo Sage.
Well, we say he has learned his lessons. The fear of not being ousted out like that or being thrown out of the government house, he have learned in that light. But again, it's bad for democracy in the actual sense. If you look at it, we say it's emergency rule. State of emergency was declared. If you look at it critically, looking at it from all, it was not followed. The due process was not followed. And these are grounds for someone to, raise eyebrows at what's going on. Learning his lessons in the sense that coming back, be that good boy and be humble.
Okay.
Don't fight your elders and don't insult big brothers. I think that's the lesson he has learned.
Roy, he's sharing those sentiments too.
Of course, it's very direct. Advocate for Igwebe, thank you. The situation on ground, I'm a realist. We have to tell people it is what it is now. There's no need for we to pretend. As of today, Nigerian people are helpless. That is the reality. I'm not supporting the Wike because what he's doing is superb, it's nice, it's good. But I'm only relating the reality that as of today, Wike is unstoppable. He's the only man. Go and check in the history to eat his cake and he's still with him. Nobody.
He must be a magician.
Yes, at the straight of that, you heard about the allegation against Wike a few days ago over that issue. Don't be surprised in another one we will not talk about that issue again. Okay. I will tell you the sophistication in Wike as of today.
All right.
After 2027, when you're tactical, as of now, Wike remains strong.
Okay, gentlemen, the fact remains that if we must move this country forward, there must be premium on building strong institutions at the detriment, as against building strong individuals. If we're not equal before the law, if certain people come be dealt with using, some sort of laws, and another set of laws, then we are creating a state in confusion. That's what it is in Nigeria. But we must continue to fight. We must continue to work. We must continue to strive to make Nigeria better, particularly those who have the opportunity to be in leadership position. What will you be remembered for? Don't forget, like someone said in the course of this program, power is transient. It's only for a time. It's only for a moment. And when that moment is gone, the rest is history. That's my take out on the show today. Thank you for staying with us. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.